corruption is first and foremost ideological. This is because the corrupt don't know how to be prosperous sustainably. They want to be prosperous, but they don't look for prosperity in a sustainable way. They want to be rich at the expense of society. They are parasites. They miscalculate and think that if you are a parasite, you can be prosperous. They, however, don't know that by being a parasite on society, even if you get temporary prosperity, that prosperity can collapse if the whole system becomes corrupt and corrupt and corrupt. This is the starting point. So when you say that you want to fight corruption, this is the one you should start with, the ideological. To make everybody understand that if you want to be prosperous, do it in a clean way without doing anything to the detriment of the bigger body. The bigger body must be all right. The whole society must be all right for you to be all right. This is number one. The religious people bring us from a point of view, the spiritual point of view. They say you should do good things so that you go to heaven. It's a bit opportunistic because you do it so that you don't go to Gehenna, which I think is quite opportunistic. But me, I would like to, that is good. I'm also looking forward to going to the other good place. But even if I didn't want to avoid Gehenna, even if I just wanted to be all right here on earth, it is wise that you work for prosperity, but in a clean way, so that what you get survives, because everybody is doing what he's doing in a non-parasitical way. This is problem number one, ideological. You must handle, especially Nakarema, and because she's the one who, because the other ones are a bit colonial, they are from a colonial background, judges, what have you. Those are from the colonial group, which didn't know much about the people. Because the colonial system here was not based on the population. It was planted on top. But for us, our justice starts with the people. It is from below, it's not from up. So that's what you should know. This group we are working with should know that. And that's why in 1989, I wrote a booklet in the UPDF, because I could see the soldiers were getting lost. And I entitled it, Why Political Education in the Army? Because I wanted them to know this, that the individual cannot be all right unless the whole is all right. Because some of you who are a bit old, you know there were people called Mafutamingi. Where is the wealth of Mafutamingi now? Kill me quick, I don't know what. No parking, you know they were called Mafutamingi. Just disappears like money you missed. So this is number one. Now, for the NRM, the starting point of the NRM. From the very beginning, the public actors must be clean so that their contribution benefits the whole society. Anything that's selfish and anti the whole is not acceptable. And that's how I set up these institutions. Because we were the ones who set them up. They were not there, except the judiciary. That one was there. And CID, they were there. But all the others were the ones who set them up. Why did we? So at the beginning, there were the courts, the penal code, and the police. Nothing else. And Auditor General. Auditor General was also there. However, because of my experience in all the years, even in the colonial times, corruption had started. Fortunately, what you call history, you people, I call current affairs. Because I have watched really a very privileged man. I don't think there are very many privileged people like me. My father, who was a traditional Munyankore, in the colonial times, he had all the veterinary drugs illegally acquired. My father, I just watched. He had a syringe, a bomber of injecting cows. Somebody who did not go to school had a bomber. He had all the veterinary drugs. There were actually 3, because I was the one holding them for him. And that he was making CCs. The man didn't know how to read. How would you determine CCs if you don't know how to read? There were 3 drugs, veterinary drugs. There was one drug called Kachungwa. The Banyangora had a name for all those drugs. Kachungwa. The scientific name was anthracite. Mr. Kaguta had the drug. In our traditional huts, that time we had traditional huts. Umurubazi. There was a pink drug, what they were calling Kasai. They had a name for everything. From Rwanda, you can imagine, they would go to Rwanda, under the Belgians, buy Kasai. I think Kasai was called, the English name was Benir or something like that. And then there was another Milke drug. the English name was prosort, but the Banyankore were calling it machunda. So the man had all the veterinary drugs. And the syringe for injecting cows illegally and ignorantly. From 1952, when I was able to, 54, that's when I was able to follow him. So that was one. Then these policemen had started taking bribes. The policemen of Akulo had started taking bribes from the Wakadaras. There were two systems of transport. There were the UTC buses, they were all called OTC those days, UTC buses, which were owned, I think, by Europeans. Somehow those, I don't know why they were not taking so much bribes from them. But there were the taxis, operated mainly by Baganda, called Wakadara. Those are the ones who would pay policemen bribes to allow overloading. And I was watching. 5 shillings, you can add people, and you go. You can overload. And I was watching. Then as I grew in the schools, when I started, I am a licensed teacher, a teacher who is not qualified, but you just teach what you know. I worked as a licensed teacher 2 times, 1965 when I finished the S4, 1966 when I finished A-level. That's when I taught these Tumwines and those big people. Now, the teachers were corrupt. We are beginning to be corrupt. In the colonial times, there was a lot of strictness. Not a lot, somehow, but not also foolproof. The form of corruption those days were the teachers misusing schoolgirls sexually, wrongly, and intimidating them. If you don't do this, we shall not give you, they will fail them. It had started, that corruption with the teachers. So when I taught briefly, I had big fights with the teachers, the ones that were teaching with us, over the issue of misusing schoolgirls. So I was watching all of this. Nobody was following up. Very, very rarely we would hear some chief has been dismissed. Taking bribes, the chiefs taking bribes to give movement permit, to get a cattle movement permit, you must give a cow to the chief for him to allow you. So I was watching all this. Now, when we had a chance, therefore, to run the country, that's how from my experience, that's how I proposed that, you know, you people, this traditional structure is not enough. Because the traditional structure was the Muruka chief, the Gombora chief, the Saza chief, the DC. These policemen were very, very far. They were only being seen on the road, taking bribes. Otherwise, they were in Mbarara, very far away. We never saw them. And you know how big Ankwere is. To see a policeman, you had to move almost 50 miles to look at a policeman. There were a few policemen in Ruhama. So, I had come to a conclusion that that structure could not defend the people. The structure that existed, Muruka chief, Gombora chief, Sada chief, DC. That's why, therefore, when we came into the system, I proposed this. Let the people, yes, let those chiefs remain, but let the people choose their own, because when I was growing up, I was like a local anti-corruption activist in my area. I was fighting the teachers, fighting the vets, the medical were selling drugs. We had people who were treating people called abebunzi. Okwebunzia is hawking. When you go, ntunda, is okubunzia, you are hawking. So abebunzi were the ones who would say, he comes, I can treat people. Having bought drugs from the government, penicillin, I don't know what. So therefore, my answer was, let the people elect their own voice. The Gombora chief is there, but let the people elect their own chairman. That's how the whole system came, this LOC3. Because why have LOC3 when you already have a Gombora chief? Why? Why have two people? If you are only interested in administration, why have this fellow? The idea was, let the people elect their own voice. Because me, Museveni, I was going to the village ad hoc, temporarily, once in a while. Why don't the people have their own permanent voice, whom they have elected themselves? That's how we got this duo. Gombora chief, LC3. Town clerk, mayor. DC, LC5. That's how I'm the one who caused that problem. But it's not working. Because those people, once they are elected, I don't know what they do. Because there should be no corruption. The people who are being cheated are your people. They are not people who are from another area. These are your own parents who are being. So that was my calculation. I was thinking that a local from the people cannot keep quiet when the locals are being exploited. But it's not working. I must admit that it's not working, so I don't know. You can ask them. Nakarema, you go and ask them. You said, you were created to defend the people. What's happening? So that is number one. The LOC structure was supposed to be the front line against corruption. Because it is from the people and for the people and with the interest of the people. That was the thinking. Then on top of that, we looked at a CID. CID is the one dealing with the penal code. Long list, I don't know how many misango are there in the penal code. I hope someone can one day give me the number. There must be like 1,000. Otarita, Otariba. It's like the Bible. You know, I know the Bible in Nyankore, I know all the 10 Commandments. So the penal code, the killing, rape, assault, what, they are all, I don't know how many they are. So we said, but this list is too long. If the CID are dealing with murder, they are dealing with rape, they are dealing with assault, they are dealing with robbery, will they get time to deal with corruption, which is not violent, because you are dealing with somebody who has shot people, you are dealing with the one who has broken, you know, dramatic crimes. But corruption is like cancer, it's quiet, it comes slowly. So that's why we said, maybe let's have an agency specializing in corruption. So that, okay, the CID goes on, they have enough work, they have enough killers, they have enough rapists, they are not short of jobs. Let somebody concentrate on corruption, especially on the cleanliness of the government system. Because if somebody steals money in a private company, I don't think IGG goes there. The IGG is supposed to concentrate on the health of the public service. If there is stealing in a private company, that is CID work. So that's how I added. I'm the one who causes all this confusion. And I had this idea from Mozambique, actually. That's where I got it from. When I was training my soldiers in Mozambique in 1976.